Do you know, in all the years, why they need to have a red trials car or a black trials car so that we can go at Johnny. Willow Workshop on a Friday
Willow Workshop
afternoon.
On a Friday afternoon.
Not Still Talk on a Friday afternoon, although it may be Still Talk, just short.
Oh, you've got, yes. So you've got here, what's this?
Well, we're going to do a little walk round because we're doing a little walk round of your Series 3 up at Glen Nevis.
We did.
And I think it went okay, so...
I think we'll be looking... Well, yours, I see yours has got a cage on it.
So this is my old trials car. Maybe not quite as old as you might think. I'm thinking it must be...
Well, it's got an STU MPY registration on it, so
must be a 12 to 14 years old. About 14 years ago, I think I put it together. So the reason we put it together, right, this is how these stories always go. At the time, I was rebuilding a Series 1. I wanted a TDI, which meant I bought a Discovery. So I took the TDI out the Discovery. It had a broken gearbox. That's why I got it cheap. But the Discovery was an off-road Discovery. It came with tyres, shocks, came with loads of bits and pieces. So I took the TDI out the Discovery and I had a Series 1 bonnet. So I had a Series 1 bonnet, I had a rolling chassis, and I also had a 2 1/4 petrol engine and Series 2 gearbox that came out of the original Series 1.
So you're halfway there.
So one day we dragged the old chassis in. She was actually pretty good. We took 20 inches out the middle, 80-inch trials car. And I wanted an 80-inch trials car because I started one of these before we got permission to build our house. So the one that I had pretty much near completion, or panelled engine and gearbox was in it, but I had to sell that to pay for, who knows, architect's drawings or something. Really? So as soon as the garage was finished and the house was nearly finished and the garage was nearly finished, this is what we built.
See, it would have been much better if I'd been working for you in your house. You could have just given me land, you wouldn't have had to sell it. that would have paid you.
That would have paid, well, it's the same thing really, I suppose. So what we did is we took all my sort of knowledge at the time and no funding at all. I mean, we're talking skint after building a house and a garage. So to even think about building a trials car, most people would think, are you mad? Trials cars cost money. Everything costs a fortune. So far I had a free rolling chassis with tyres and shock absorbers. I had a 2 1/4 engine and gearbox. I had poles lying around. I am a dab hand with the old pipe bender. The actual bulkhead used to be the, what would you call it, what's the name, I've got an architect holding the camera as well.
Right.
The bit that keeps the rain off you, outside the front door. You're not a porch, you're a canopy. This used to be the canopy from the Outback pub in Stirling. It's actually, you still get little signs of red paint occasionally, so that's what the bulkhead was made from.
Did they not wonder where it went?
Well, it was getting replaced with a wooden one, I think. So that's where that steel came from. So far, the way I see it is, I pretty much got a whole car to play with. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure I was on the start line, all in, for about 700 quid.
Oh, that's good going.
And to be honest, here's the thing. If you buy shock absorbers, buy well. The shock absorbers on the front of this are Bilstein. Now, the Bilstein shock absorbers on the front of this car have never been off this car. The Bilstein shock absorbers came with the Discovery. And I never took them off. I never changed the front springs. The front springs have never been off this car.
We're no sponsored by Bilstein, are we?
No.
So go and let's see under the bonnet.
And it's had a hard life. My God, it's had a hard life.
Well, it's had a few drivers, hasn't it? And over its time.
I never trialled this car on my own. I always, if someone hadn't asked during the week, can I get a shot? If you rocked up at the event, somebody else would say, anybody else driving it? And even if there was, it can be quite easily triple entered. And here's the power plant. Look.
Oh, it's like,
there's the power plant.
Oh, there we go.
Now the old original 2 1/4 petrol actually was okay. The one thing that I had to do with the 2 1/4 petrol, I had to take out the 3.5 diffs because a series box is actually still pretty high geared even and low with 3.5 diffs. So the old 2 1/4, we had to haul out the 3.5 diffs and put in 4.7 diffs. And that made a huge difference. But eventually the old 2 1/4, it was no good for the speed events. So we upgraded to a 2.5. But as you can well imagine, when we put this car together, it was never going to get used for speed events. But it did get used for speed events. And it's actually won a couple of speed events.
Used to be SU on there?
The SU carburetor. Originally it had the 2.5 Weber carburetor. But as anybody ever knows, fantastic carburetor on the road. Once you start playing around in the muck, you are under the bonnet twice a day, cleaning jets, cleaning jets, cleaning jets. So yeah, eventually we threw away the Weber carburetor and put on the good old SU, which basically suits anything at all. As you can see here, we have the old bonnet prop. If it's a bit wet, every trials car basically has one of these under the bonnet, and she just lies there. Every time you lift the bonnet, she's someplace else. But that's fine.
You've hit a cane, Dave. No, I haven't.
So today, this car, because of various reasons, and we've just been busy and we've done other things, this car was parked up here, I think about last May. It was basically pushed in that there corner. So we're going to see if she'll start for a start. But as I found out many years ago, if you put an old trials car away, especially if you've used modern fuel line, if you've got an electric pump, you switch the electric pump on and always go and check your fuel lines. Because I lifted the bonnet one day when there was a smell of petrol, and it was basically misting petrol all over the engine bay. So if your car's been sitting for a while, put the pump on and go and have a wee look. So first thing we'll do
in the garage.
Well, in the garage, it was basically just modern fuel pipe, cheap fuel pipe.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem to like
any
kind of period in time.
Give a whirl and we'll see what happens.
So actually, another top thing, if you're going to be building a trials car, now you think that this trials car is sitting on very small back springs, but it's not. It's actually sitting on, well, you'll know because they're your springs.
They're my springs, are they?
They're the Tomcat trials ones, but it actually sits with quite a bit of clearance. The whole body of this car slopes down to the rear. So the chassis is actually sitting level and the whole back of the car sits down. And that shows that we all know that if you're this close to the cane and the back body's up here, it's all over.
But it's all complies dimension-wise.
It's all complies, well, as long as the body's the right size, it doesn't actually matter where you put it on the chassis.
Yeah.
Right, well, we'll see if she starts her up.
Go on.
Well, we'll put the pump on first and we'll see if we get any.
Just think,
Well, that's good news. It means that there's petrol in it.
Or something. There's a liquid in it.
You getting any smells or any spewing parts?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Right.
Good thing is, if it does go wrong, we've got it in film.
So from the old Series 1 Land Rover, we also took out, because I like it very much, the old start button. So if you guys are coming around here, you'll see how technical it is in here. What we've got is a key and a button.
a red key.
We have got a key and a button.
A red key.
We have a charge light and we have an oil light, and that's all we've got.
A red key and a button.
That's all we've got.
That's all you need.
And you know if she overheats, because she's got that lovely series thing where she just spits all her water all over the place. So we have a clutch before we drive it through the wall, which I've done before. Brake pedal feels.
Out of gear.
Right, you ready?
Go
so
on.
there's no choke either. That's another thing old trials cars. You need a bit of patience. Oh, flat battery.
You don't charge the battery.
No, wait, charge the battery. There you go.
Well, that's true. So, back later and go.
Maybe this is absolutely It used to go all the way right round and then do the opposite of what it's supposed to do.
Lock it on. Let's go and have the light. Right.
Right then, Neil.
While the battery's on charge.
Well, the battery's on charge. And to be fair, there's no shame to it, because I think that's the original battery that was put in this car as well. That was one of the expense. That's one thing that I did actually spend some money on.
A decent battery.
So if you come round to the back of this lovely little panelled trials car, everyone of a certain age will remember and know what that is and why it's there.
Why are you getting an air filter on the back?
Because it's just that little retro thing. So this, Neil has clocked it, is usually the bottom of your oil bath air cleaner. So years ago, before they were probably actually worth some money, everybody got the top, cut it in half, welded the top onto a plate, and then that becomes your seal for your petrol tank, your fuel tank. Yeah, fuel tank in there. Now there's also a story in the fuel tank. To go to the Boxing Day bash, the car was nearly ready, but it didn't have a fuel tank. So to get a fuel tank made, again, was quite an expensive thing. So I was on the old interweb one night, and I found out that you got boat tanks for outboards.
Oh,
and this has a filler. It's actually even got a gauge. It tells you whether it's red or green, and it's got stock. So I bought one of these. I think it was about £12 or £15. Temporary, understand. And it got clamped in there. It's good heavy plastic. They're proper petrol tanks, heavy plastic. That got dropped in there about 14 years ago, and it's never gave me a bit of bother. Never gave me a bit of bother. So yeah, old, well, it was brand new. It even comes with a handle, but it doesn't matter because it's fixed in there. So what else have we got? I remember when I built this.
You've got your badges.
When we first built this.
Your silly lads racing on crap.
Yeah, that's the SLR. When we first put it together, there was a lot of... Everyone assumed that it had a V8 under the bonnet. Everyone assumed it had a TDI under the bonnet. And there was a whole load of people kind of sniggered when they noticed it had a 2 1/4 under the bonnet. But since then, most people in our club have had a shot at this. And it's never really came back with a bad report. It only comes back with a good report.
It's a lovely wee car to drive.
It goes everywhere the V8 goes. It goes everywhere a TDI goes. It always gets you to the top of a hill. And I think the reason it gets you to the top of the hill is a lot of the V8s, and if you look over there, we have a V8 one, so we know exactly what happens. You get halfway up the hill, you start to panic, you put the gas on, the wheels start to spin, you only put more gas on, you put more gas on, you're throwing muck everywhere, the car starts going backwards. This one you do the same, but when you panic, you put the foot all the way down, but nothing happens. It just continues to basically slog up the hill.
So, see, you get a fire extinguisher in here. Is that needed for the rigs?
Yep, fire extinguisher for the rigs. I'm actually quite sure that one will be, because it's been spilled. It went in there new last year. It's still in the green, so I don't know whether it needs...
Do
they get tagged every year now? I can't remember.
It's never needing tested.
I can't remember whether you replace them every year.
No, you get them tested.
You get them tested, they go back. So, yep, fire extinguisher, which thankfully I've never had called to use.
Your 4-point belts.
4-point belts.
And these doors, did you make these doors up?
Yeah, so the whole car is aluminium and box section. So the only parts of the Series 1 that were harmed were the bonnet, which I already had, and I picked up a couple of old Series 1 wings for Alan Crow. And as you can see, they have been... Which are well and truly... They have been, well, they were battered when I got them. They were a lot straighter than they are now, but they've been bashed and replaced and bashed and replaced. And I know a lot of people replace them and put bars on.
No, it looks the part, doesn't it?
Although it's a trials car, I still want it to look like a Land Rover. So
yes,
that's the thinking behind it. So let's see if we've got anything in this battery. Probably not.
Oh, do you think you're going to? Oh, give it a wee bit, nearly.
Just nearly ready to go. Like I said, if I actually at some point had bothered to put a choke on it, it might actually be an awful lot better.
Well, that's true, it might have done. Well, give it a wee moment.
We'll give it a wee moment. I think it'll go.
Your pump's still running?
Pump's still running. We're also in, well, we're in February. Happy February. But it's basically sat here in a, well, It's been in the damp bit of the garage, and they don't like damp. Old 2 1/4, 2 1/2s don't like the damp. Up here.
So after some time.
After some time has passed, because obviously we had to allow the battery time to charge.
So we have had we did try a wee Wolfies. You can watch Still Talk video on the Wolfies, which I'll put the link in the description below.
I'm not convinced that this whole battery light thing has possibly came up.
Stop. Where's your microphone? What is it? Ah, right.
I think I'm an amateur.
Right, so it's been.
Do you know what I can't believe? That Still Talk isn't even a year old yet.
No, I know. I was thinking that as well.
She's still sort of 9 months or so.
Yeah.
She's still just.
Yeah, it's still only 9 months. I know.
Right, we have been away for quite some time, as you can see. I don't know. We just said that, but.
Letting the battery charge.
So, but we're still on an amber light, so that's not looking particularly great. But we shall see what we're going to get.
Do you want me to pull the choke? Will I pull the choke?
Well, there's a little choky bit on the side there.
Oh,
see that little choky fella? See that wee bit there? That should be.
Yeah. So
that wee bit. It's a net shoe. Everybody cares about the choke on the net shoes.
Where is it?
Right, we'll see what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen.
Get away.
Down a bit. Down a bit. Up.
You said down a bit.
That's a bit. Put your finger out.
Oh, down there. Oh, I got it. Got it right.
That's you.
Right, so we've got some choke on.
Let's go and see what we're going to get.
Probably flooded now. Oh. There we go.
Look, you can hardly even notice. She's like a Rolls Royce. You can stand her 50 pence up on her. 50 pence piece on her.
That's a lovely thing. I love that about the CD's engines.
She's actually quite lumpy because she's actually on solid mounts. So she's on panhard rod solid mounts. Oh. When she was actually on rubber mounts with a bolt through them, it was a lot smoother. But the problem was that a rubber mount with a bolt all the way through is basically a slide hammer. And what happened is it eventually actually tore the mount off the chassis. So she's now got the old sort of panhard rod bush with a bolt through it.
So,
and that's what we got. I dare say she'll be a little bit lumpy.
A wee bit smoky as well.
We should probably open up yet. Just save it killing us.
I'll be fine. Oh.
So there you are, we're getting lots of. What's those? Rod Stewart making a wee run for it.
Right.
Rod Stewart and his Wolfies making a wee break for freedom.
So where's these mounts?
So the old mounts down there someplace, you poke your way through those complicated wires.
Oh, well, you can't really see it there.
Probably disconnect the old charger now as well, which we shall unplug. And if it does go bang, it'll make an interesting video. There we go, we're off, we're okay. We're all good.
There we go.
So there we have it.
So it's running.
So, are you drinking my wee drum?
Oh, is that yours?
No, it's okay.
So you're doing the RTV at the weekend then?
When is the RTV?
Sunday.
Tomorrow, Sunday. Maybe we could take it.
So there we go, it runs.
I think if we gave the plugs a bit wire brush, and we gave the cap a bit WD-40, and we put petrol in it, and obviously we do all the scrutiny and checks. I think it's a bit damp.
Oh, it's a bit cold. It's a bit cold as well.
But she takes over nice.
Yeah, it's doing well.
To be honest, we've tried worse. So, in all good mechanic fashion, fixed. See?
Fixed. So interesting.
Ready to go. We'll hide the wee
So
bit.
that's Dave Stumpy. So I hope you enjoyed Dave's wee run, Stumpy. And
clutch worked.
Perfect.
He's definitely got a misfire. But that's just dampness, I think. Yeah. I think we've got 3.
Yeah, you've only got 3. I think you've only got about 3 running in there.
But tomorrow, we could put a bit of time in it tomorrow. We'll get her dried out, and I'm pretty sure she'll be
That's good.
she'll be good to go.
Excellent. Good
But
one.
don't be, I would say before we scoot off, if you're thinking about building a trials car, don't wait much longer. You need to go and find a Discovery now because they are becoming very rare. And don't be scared to put something a little different under the bonnet.
What, Discovery 3?
A Discovery 3. A Discovery 3 with a 2 1/4 on it. Now,
You really mean a Discovery 1?
A Discovery, you want a Disco 1. You can use a Disco 2 if you could find one of them. They're actually harder to find now than a Disco 1. What we haven't actually mentioned is the other upgrade is the 22TC. The Rover 22TC really makes these things sing. Absolute perfection.
Well, that's a video for another day, though.
That's a video for another day.
It is. Excellent.
Cheers, Neil.
Cheers.